Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Now, I've realized there's been a long break since part 1 and part 2 of the Tennessee episode, but I was trying to finish up some graduate school work. But I'm back. And for this episode, I sat down with Cassidy Stephenson and we talked about the supernatural, chilling stories of Tennessee. Cassidy Stephenson is a film and journalism enthusiast. She co-hosts the podcast The Com-rades with Daniel, Jeremy, and Maddie as they share their reactions and reviews to TV shows and movies. Cassidy is also the director and producer of the student documentary film titled Who Tells Your Story? On the last episode, episode 34, Tennessee's Hidden Secrets Part 1, we talked about her adventures in Pigeon Forge, Nashville, and spicy foods. This week we entered the depths of Tennessee to talk about the Grand Old Opry, Bell Witch Cave, and Clarksville. You don't need to listen to episode 34, Tennessee's Hidden Secrets, before listening to this episode. However, I highly recommend it. Before we jump into our conversation with Cassidy, I have been to a part of Tennessee where there are haunted rumors or legends of ghosts, but the attraction itself is thrilling without the ghosts. Tail of the Dragon at Deal's Gap is considered the most dangerous road in Tennessee. 318 curves are on this 11-mile road. They have outlawed semi-trucks or any vehicle that is longer than 30 feet from even entering this road. Tail of the Dragon is called US 129 and drives through the Great Smoky Mountains and the Cherokee National Forest. It's known to be one of the best motorcycle roads with its tight turns, driving near the cliffs of the mountains. The road starts on the border of North Carolina, specifically in North Carolina at the intersection of NC 28 and US 129. And ends at the Tabcat Creek Bridge in Tennessee. At the beginning of the road, there is a Deal's Gap motorcycle resort and the Tail of the Dragon that has gas, food, and lodging right next to a dragon metal sculpture. This is the last place you'll find any gas, food, or lodging once you get on the road. It takes a minimum of 45 minutes for an ambulance to show up. This road was featured in TV shows and movies like the Discovery Channel's Hell Road show, the 1958 film Thunder Road, and the 1993 film The Fugitive, to name a few. My recommendation is to drive slow and be careful. Not too far from the Tail of the Dragon is the Shirahalla Skyway, built in 1996. It's known as the National Scenic Byway that goes through the Cherokee National Forest in Tennessee and the Nantahala National Forest in North Carolina. It features breathtaking scenic views for 43 miles. And now, onto the conversation I had with Cassidy.
We have the Grand Old Opry that I've been on the outside of, and like the gift shop.
Wait, what is can you repeat it? Because I think the audio thing cut off.
It's called the Grand Old Opry.
Okay.
So I know they changed locations to where they used to be, but it's definitely haunted, 100%. But that's a different story.
Wait, whoa. Why do you say it's haunted?
I just have a thing about so it's not. I don't remember where it used to be because it's been a while that it's been it's a new location, I think. And I know there's a story about it. I'm gonna Google Grand Ole Opry because I know there's the Ryman, I guess. The Ryman Auditorium is where they think a lot of hauntings are. Like the singers that sang there, like the guy who built it. Let me see if there's any specifics. Apparently, a spirit stomped around so loudly that people were forced to leave.
Maybe he didn't like country music either.
Yeah. There's
Or she.
the Grand Old Opry like country radio show. So like um musicians would come. It started in like the 40s, I think. And musicians would come and just perform and like okay, so I looked it up apparently. I did not know this, but there's an Opry curse. And like most singers that performed up the Opry ended up dead. A total of 37 met their fate in gruesome ways.
Oh my god. This took an
Yep.
unexpected turn.
I don't like country music.
Probably neither does that ghost.
No, man. But the haunted stuff, that's a whole nother.
I got time. We could make this
Oh,
a
you got
haunted
time?
episode. We got
Okay.
time.
So the one that's nearest to me is called Bell Witch Cave.
Okay.
And I refuse to go there. I've been asked if I've been wanting to go there. It's probably an hour away from me, I think. I no, I do not mess with that kind of stuff. So Ghost Adventures has been there. And apparently, so I was actually so terrified of the Bell Witch that I could not sleep for days. And I was told that if you sleep with your feet outside of the cover, she's going to grab you and take you. And I was so scared. And my friend who told me that lives like right near, she used to, I think, by the Bell Witch Cave. So if you don't know the story of the Bell Witch, when did it start? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look up. So it was by the Bell family. I think it was in the 1800s, like early 1800s. And they lived on this farm in this Bell Witch Cave. They started seeing like strange animals on the property and got scared and there was noises and everything, but they kind of like ignored it. Then like people started seeing more things and like getting hurt by those things. And so it's actually, this is really scary. It's actually the only like recorded ghost death of like ghost killing of a person in the United States. The farmer that owned the property died.
Okay.
And they believe that the ghost killed him. And so let me see, the Bell Witch killing only recorded ghost death in the United States. Something it's I recommend looking into it because it's really like actually like interesting, but like I'm not into that kind of things because it's very scary. But
Wow. If we're getting like secrets now.
yeah, yeah, we have as of last year we used to have a Nathan Bedford Forrest holiday. If you don't know who Nathan Bedford Forrest is, he was the founder of the KKK.
This
I
is a
love these.
wild trip right now.
Yeah, I know we still have a statue of him. I think his remains are somewhere in Nashville, or they're trying to get them removed because we don't want him anymore. A lot of creepy things go on. So the high school that I went to used to be a hospital. So like when I used to have art class, so there were separate buildings because it was a hospital, and so they were just like spread out. The building that I've tell a lot of people this, I'm sure you've heard this before, but the building that I had my art classes in was in the basement of that one of the buildings that used to be like where the nurses stayed. And the my art classroom used to be the morgue. And I just remember getting like very creepy vibes down there, and it was just like super cold and just I did not like being there. And the teacher was awful. So just ruined everything.
But did it have like remains of a morgue, or was it just like completely, you were just told it used to be a morgue?
I mean, it did have like the just like gray concrete floors, cold floors, and there used to be one part of the room I remember that they would put a shelf in front of, and you'd be like, "What's in there?" It would have like a red stain on the front of it, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" You're like, "We don't go in there." What?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so it didn't like have the drawers that you pull out still. It was still creepy looking. And so right next to my school, so my school was right next to a cemetery. You like when we were in science class, we could see funerals going on. So we would walk and there would be funerals, and then when we would have a bomb threat, we would have to go to another haunted place called the Smith Traherne Mansion, which is, I think that's the place where they say they see a woman standing on the balcony and she's just pacing and pacing, like, because waiting for her husband to return from like the Civil War, because it was built in like the 1850s, and I think he never came back from war. So yeah, a widow's walk on the roof. They have that area.
Now you didn't see you just heard
I didn't see it. Yeah.
Okay.
I just hear that it's haunted, and we also have um, a river that many people have died in. The river, you can also see it from my high school. So basically, my high school is just a giant ghost surrounding haunted weird. We probably pull, I don't know, 3 or 4 bodies out of it every year, I would say. And keep in mind, I don't live in that big of a city.
You live
So,
outside of, like, further away from Nashville.
yeah, I mean, it was probably like 45 minutes away from Nashville. But Clarksville is pretty big. Clarksville, I think, is the 5th largest city in Tennessee. I think we have 200,000 people. And Cumberland River is pretty long, but we pull, I would 4 to 5 maybe bodies out of it every year. And it's just like people driving into it, like their cars, and people dumping the bodies into it. It's not like boating accidents. It's like people driving into the river or jumping off the bridge that overlooks the river, or people dumping their dead bodies
How
in
deep
the
is the
river.
river? Do you know, or is it just like...
It's not deep. I don't. I've never been in it because I refuse. I'm like, why people swim in it all the time? And I'm like, why would? Why?
I just gotta chill.
Yeah, that's where they jump their. That's where our sewage goes too, and it smells like awful.
How far away is this river from your house?
Like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yep. So my hometown is Woodlawn, but which is like 2,000 people. But I went to high school and middle school in Clarksville because Woodlawn does not have a high school and middle school. So Clarksville was voted, I think, the top 3 best place to view the solar eclipse that happened in 2017. Yeah, I mean, I hate it here, but it has some
It has some creepy towns and some
very creepy stuff. Man, I need a show after this screen. I'm gonna send you the pictures of this really creepy place that my aunt and I went to. I don't even remember I don't even know how we got there. And it's just so backwoods. It's like creepy statues. And my aunt took something from it like a couple years ago, and she said she just got like the worst bad luck, so she returned it. But her luck didn't get better.
Isn't that when they say don't take something because then you'll have bad luck?
Yeah, that's why people don't take things from the Bell Witch Cave, because it says they followed them.
Is there a favorite city that you have in Tennessee?
I really like Nashville. Like, out of everywhere that I've been, I liked Memphis and I liked Pt.2, but like Nashville just gives you kind of like, I don't know, like it has just good food, not compared to Chicago, but good food, and the shopping there is pretty good. Like we have some good malls. But yeah, I like to shop and I like to try new food places. If I'm not with my brother because he won't eat anything other than chicken tenders. True story.
I'd like to thank Cassidy for being a guest, and to the listeners who tuned in to listen to this week's episode. Make sure you check out episode 34, Tennessee's Hidden Secrets Part 1, to hear the other side of Tennessee, if you haven't done so already. Be sure to listen to the podcast, The Com-rades, available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a great week.